Jennifer from Unveiled Wife, and today we have Jesse with us. And Jesse, can you just share a little bit about who you are with the community?
Sure. Well, my name is Jessica Russell, and I'm from Montana, Olney, Montana, which is just a small little dot in northern Montana. I am 29 years old. I just turned 29. I am married to a wonderful man named Brian, and we've only been married for about a year and a half, and we have a little girl, a little baby. Her name is Sophie. Um, yeah, so that's about myself. I mean, I've been following Unveiled Wife for a long time now, and I love you, and I think it's awesome that you're out there doing this and encouraging wives, and your prayers that you do have every day that you send out to somebody or everybody. I love them because they are really encouraging to me, more so on specific days, and they're just awesome. So I'd like to thank you for that.
Oh, that just is so encouraging to hear, and it motivates my heart to want to keep doing it. So thank you. And for anyone listening, those prayers are available if you go to unveiledwife.com/prayer of the day, and you can actually subscribe via email. Like you said, you can get it every day into your inbox. So thank you for mentioning that. That's awesome. Well, today we're going to be talking about Wife After God, and specifically chapter 7 about marriages to make us holy. And I actually got that from Gary Thomas, who talks about in Sacred Marriage how God uses our marriage to make us holy. And it's not necessarily just for our happiness, but that God uses it to refine us and make us more like Him. And so I'm excited to jump into this chapter. And Jesse, can you just share maybe one thing that stood out to you about this chapter?
Sure, actually, and this is one of my favorite chapters. I had done the Unveiled Wife, or the Wife After God Bible study the last time, and I had gone through it, and this one sticks out to me. One of the better, well, not the better chapter, sorry, but one that really just sticks out to me. The whole chapter itself just sticks out to me because it's the relationship with Christ and with us is the same as in our marriage. His is more flawless than ours, but we're called to, love our husbands and love our families and just love like Christ does. And with this chapter, you're just able to see how much it correlates with our marriages and with Christ as, the Christian church as His bride. So I just think that it's just an awesome chapter to read.
Yeah, I think it's so beautiful how much the marriage that we have with Christ correlates with our marriage here on earth and the physical, representation that we get to experience with our spouse. And that was one of the messages I really wanted to convey through Wife After God. So I'm glad that it's, encouraged you and inspired you. So in the beginning of this chapter, it talks a lot about sanctification, this idea of being set apart. Did you have, any prior knowledge about sanctification going into this chapter?
Actually, I didn't. I heard the word sanctification, and you hear something and you just kind of put it in the back of your head. But actually, I didn't know a whole lot about what the word meant. I just knew it was kind of somewhere in the holy category. And to know that it means being set apart, it just makes that word mean so much more to me. And now that I know what it means and being a Christian.
So one of the parts of Wife After God are the journal questions, and I put those in there to help, get some women thinking about their lives and evaluating things. And one of the questions is, in what ways are you sanctified as a wife? And how are you set apart as a wife? How would you answer that?
I would say personally that I'm set apart from other women. Maybe as a wife, people can relate to this, but I'm called to submit to my husband just as I am unto the Lord, to submit. And sometimes that's really hard for a lot of people to do. I mean, we go through our single lives doing what we want. We're stuck in our ways, and then we bring these two lives together, and we're called to submit to our husbands. And sometimes that can be a struggle, but it always just turns out to be the best thing, and the Lord really works that way when you submit to Him and submit, in our marriage, submit to our husbands. And I think that is the way personally that I am set apart from other women.
That's beautiful. So how has this idea of, marriage is to make you holy, how has that perspective affected or impacted your marriage?
Well, I wanted to. There's a part in your book where you go and you quote Ephesians. Of course, it's about just the the bridegroom and that whole relationship with our marriage. And I think that really stands out to me because you also say we're set apart. This one woman is set apart for this one man, and I just think that's so beautiful because we as women, we want that. We crave that. We want to be that one person for our husband that he goes to, or that we're loved so much by. And any single person that wants to be married, that seeks to be married, that's what they want. They want that full comfort thing. And we're set apart to encourage our husband, to pray for our husband, to be the strength for him, to be a safe place, and him for us. And it's just awesome because it's exactly the same for Christ with us, but he never fails us. See, in our marriages, we all have lifestyles, or not lifestyles, but struggles, stresses. We're tired, overworked, or whatever, and you still have that support from your husband, but more so with Christ. And I think he just really is trying to make that mirrored in our marriages, because we do have that love. We are set apart for Jesus Christ, and he loves us, and he can encourage us to go out to the world. He's our safe place, just as our husbands are.
Yeah. And how does knowing that you're having that foundation in Christ, how does that motivate you to endure through those hardships with your husband?
Well, it's funny you ask that, because sometimes you get home and you're like, well, after a long, because I work out of the home, and sometimes I get home and I'm like, oh gosh, I got to make dinner and take care of little Sophie and just get ready for the next day, and I'm so stressed and so tired. And sometimes in my selfish ways I'm like, I just need more help, but I realize my husband's outside chopping wood, making the home warm, just doing his thing to also take part. And that is when I just really have to, channel in of who I'm working for. I'm working for my family because I love them, but of course I'm also working to the Lord, because it's because of him that I have this family and I have this love, and I'm able to take care of them in the ways that I can, and so I just pray all the time, just remember who you're working for, remember that you're blessed because you do have your husband and you do have your children, So that's what I do. I usually say a quick prayer.
I think that's great encouragement that all of us can really just take hold of, because so often we do find ourselves in those situations where we're tired and, we want to just throw the load off and put it on our husbands, and we expect them to just jump up and joyfully, rescue us. But we forget that they're also going through hard times and stresses and stuff. So, yeah, we have to be able to balance that with each other and help each other and support each other. Well, as we close this interview, I just wanted to thank you for being a part of it. And if you could please just share one thing that maybe God has been teaching you about being a wife or being a mom, can you just share something that would encourage the women today?
Yeah, and as an encouragement, I would just encourage all the wives to pray for your husbands. Pray for them every day, all day and night. Just there's a lot of struggles out in this world that our husbands have to face, their jobs, temptations, people, negative things, just pray for strength, or anything that you think that he needs special attention to, because prayer works. I've seen it.
Awesome. That's perfect. Thank you so much, Jessie, for just being here today and sharing your insights with us. And I'm praying for you and your husband that you guys continue to do well and are blessed. And so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.